Hello, everyone. This is Jimmy Cultist, and today we're going to be talking about how to make puppets' mouths move with a voice recording, like basically lip sync. There are several methods by which to achieve it, and I'm going to be demonstrating all of them. One thing that's nice to know is almost all of them are fairly simple to accomplish, so it won't be hard. And I want to talk about the construction of puppet mouths real quick. These are some pre-existing characters I've used in my games. And this scene will actually be used in my upcoming game, Sammy Seal 4. But I want to talk about how I constructed the mouth for speaking. It's a group of a black void and a jaw. This isn't necessarily how you have to make it. It's not on a hinge. You could put it on a hinge if you wanted to, like a ball joint or a bolt. I decided not to so that I could have more freedom to move it in any way that I pleased. There are certain disadvantages and advantages. Mainly if you're doing an animation and it's set to springy, like if you turn this up, you'll get waggle in the mouth, but really you don't really use springiness much on mouth animations anyway, so I don't really see a huge disadvantage in it. It can also look weird depending on the construction of the jaw. I tend to construct mine a certain way so that they won't look quite so strange when they're moving. The joint kind of gives it a center of mass, so that can be helpful. But you're saving thermo if you don't have to use joints, because 5 joints, I believe, equals 1% thermo, if I remember correctly. We can go ahead and test that. Yeah, let's test it. 5 joints. I just want to make sure. Alright, and let's take a look at our thermo real quick. We're at 17, so if we delete these, we should go down to 16. No? I guess they changed it. Back in the day, though, 5 joints was 1% thermo. I guess they've improved that since then. Anyway, let's not get off on rabbit trails. We're going to need an animation. I don't really know if you can use action recorders for this, so pretty much keyframes are the only thing I can think of to use it properly. So now you're going to want to open the mouth a lot wider than you would think. Like, that looks pretty terrible right now, but it's actually somewhat necessary for the envelope method to open it wider, because the envelope always undershoots the values a little bit. Now I've got 2 voice recordings here. Let's go ahead and test this one.
I am the very model of a modern Major General.
See, that barely opens. So you want to have this wide as it can be. Let's try it again.
I am the very model of a modern Major General.
Now that's the easiest method that there is, kind of, as far as this is concerned. The envelope method, very simple. Just take envelope, stick it in the keyframe. But there's a few other methods that I would like to mention. One of them is the doing it manually. I don't really like this method. It has a few disadvantages. It requires quite a few keyframes. I'm never a big fan of using tons of keyframes because If you're making a movie, it might be very, you know, you could get away with it. But if you're making an actual game and you want the thermo to remain as, you know, unused as possible, this is a bad way to do it. Oh, also, we can turn off linear blend, because you really won't want that. You want the blend on none. Have it as jagged as possible. I actually have used this method a few times. I can't remember exactly in what context I had this manual animation method. And we'll give them just a little bit of slow down and slow up.
There is so much good pizza on hand to eat.
Another thing about this method is you have to fine-tune it a bit to get it to sync up with the voice lines. Like, that kind of looked weird. It didn't really match up with what he was saying.
There is so much good pizza on hand to eat. There is so much good pizza on hand to eat.
But anyway, that's the other way of making characters' lips move. And now there is one other method, which is just a variation on the envelope method. Which is just to take out a calculator. Oh, by the way, there may be even more methods of making the characters' mouths move, but I'm not really aware of them. It would be interesting to find out, though. If anybody has other methods that they know of, it'd be cool to experiment with those, because these are pretty much the only ones I'm aware of. But we'll look in here, and we'll see the value generated.
There is so much good pizza on hand to eat.
And you'll see this is just opening his mouth, you know. Another thing is, we're going to want to tone down the animation, because this really makes the value much more set. It's not quite as weak as it normally would be. And as a result, you'll get a lot more lip flap. We'll try bumping this up to 13 and see what we get. Don't forget to set it on greater than. So when the value is greater, it'll open.
There is so much good pizza on hand to eat.
Now this is good if you don't want so much blend, and if you want sharper, you know, more janky mouth opening. And you may be wondering why you'd want this. Well, if you're trying to replicate certain animation styles, for instance, it's very common in older anime that they have very janky lip movements that are just kind of, you know, like mouth goes wide open and then shut. With not much blend, could be useful for something like that. It really depends on what you're trying to make. I will try it with a little blend just to see what that would look like, though.
There is so much good pizza on hand to eat.
Yeah, that's interesting. At the end of the day, though, I think just regular envelope is probably the best method that I can think of. Anyway, hopefully you found that helpful. And if we have any further updates on how to do lip movements, maybe we'll make that in a separate video. But I think envelope will get you by just fine on most things, so long as you animate the opening properly and such. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts, leave a comment, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. If you would like to support us financially, consider clicking the join button to become a member and unlock perks. You can also leave a super thanks in the comments, which we would appreciate, or a one-time donation on Ko-fi, link in the description. That's all for now. Goodbye.